Before we got married, we used to be like very sexually active, even to the point where, we'd engage in exquisite stuff, having a threesome, cunnilingus and fellatio, the works. But ever since I got married to her, it's not been the same that way. She doesn't want to do all that. It's just, the normal positions, and then we finish. She doesn't want to be as bold and as exploring as we used to be. Now we don't want to do it, and I kind of wonder why. I kind of wonder how this is going to affect our marriage going forward. So I just need some advice, guys. I'd really appreciate it if I could get your insights on the matter.
So I know generally, when guys are dating, women pretend. Women tend to put their best behavior when they like a guy.
It's a familiar story. I mean, these things decline. It takes a lot of active effort. When they say date your wife as you did her when she was your girlfriend, that's what it means. It means you need to consciously set up date nights. You need to consciously do those things in the bedroom. Otherwise, you're going to be having sex exactly the same way.
Let's be honest. First, the economy of the world, not Nigeria, is crumbling. So if threesome is your challenge, you have a separate problem that you need to sort out, right? Then if you're saying that, it's not the same in the bedroom, that's fine. But if you're saying, we're not sexually exploring as we used to, then maybe you need to check yourself. As far as I'm concerned, that's the only way I see it.
Engaging in all those kind of acts that are pretty much childish before marriage and expecting that to continue is another story entirely. Do you understand?
Yeah, I do.
That's the problem with so many young single people. You want to have all the sex in the world before you get married, and then when you get married, you think it's going to get better, it's going to increce. I'm going to continue having all the sex in the world. No.
All right, it's still the Black Table, the Ultimate Men's Guide, and tonight's confession is one a lot of couples struggle with, but hardly ever speak about openly. Sometimes love is there, but real communication dies. And sometimes people stay together physically while emotionally they are already checked out. And sometimes the things that couples are afraid to say out loud, become the exact things destroying the relationship quietly. Tonight, one anonymous viewer is ready to tell a story. We're going to take a listen, and then after that, we'll come back to the table and talk about it.
Hey, wife, before we got married, we used to be like very sexually active, even to the point where, we'd engage in exquisite stuff, exotic stuff like having a threesome, cunnilingus and fellatio, the works. And it was fun because we got to, really, really test ourselves to the sexual limits. But ever since I got married to her, it's not been the same that way. She doesn't want to do all that. It's just, the normal positions, and then we finish. She doesn't want to be as bold and as exploring as we used to be before we got married. And it's bothering for me because I believe that was one of the things our relationship was built on before we tied the knot, and that was a huge part of our sex life and our lives in general. But now we don't want to do it, and I kind of wonder why. I kind of wonder how this is going to affect our marriage going forward. So I just need some advice, guys. I'd really appreciate it if I could get your insights on the matter.
What? We all listen to that.
Why are you laughing?
And it's not funny. It's not funny. Stop laughing, Quincy. Stop laughing. But it's interesting. And because of the nature of what they're talking about, Quincy, we'll let you go first.
Why? Why me?
What are your thoughts on, the confession that we just listened to? So I know generally, when guys are dating, women pretend. I'm sorry that I'm putting this out there, but I think women are in their best behavior.
Men do as well.
No. I think men still somehow, some way remain the same, and then you put out your card the way it is. But I feel, I might be wrong, but I feel that women tend to put their best behavior when they like a guy. They're trying to be, in their best behavior and then, fall into place, so to say. And from what we just listened to, the guy talked about the fact that while he was still dating, they were very expressive and adventurous, and they did a lot of things. Then they got married, and all of that stopped. Every guy has got their own story.
He didn't say how long they've been married, though, and I'm curious to know. So it's a familiar story. I mean,
don't start what you can't finish.
It's a familiar story.
Interesting.
I mean, if you've been in a long term, it doesn't even have to be in a marriage. You've been in a long-term relationship, these things decline. It takes a lot of active effort, right, to keep it spicy, as they say in the bedroom.
Yeah.
So it's not saying something humanity is hearing for the first time.
Yeah.
But the key thing is his partner willing to work on it, right? When they say date your wife as you did her when she was your girlfriend, that's what it means. It means you need to consciously set up date nights. You need to consciously do those things in the bedroom. Otherwise, you're going to be having sex exactly the same way.
The bro started with threesomes.
The religious way. That's how it's gonna go, especially when the kids start coming around and all that. So I'm curious to find out how long they've been together. If they don't have kids yet, or they are freshly married, then that's a major concern, because the reason for the partner's disinterest in trying stuff might be connected to something entirely different.
Yeah,
sometimes. True. The way women function is the sexual act is not disconnected from all the things that led up to it. Right? So there might be something to check with her if she's generally happy.
They should talk about
it. They should have a conversation around, okay, how do you feel? Why is it that you're not, is there something I'm not doing? Is there something I could do better? Is it, is it symptomatic of the general health of our relationship?
Wheezy.
Okay, so Quincy, I've got to ask you, so if you are in a relationship now, we never know whatever your status is. I don't even know what you are into right now, but let's say you're in a relationship
you will be into something else. God, because waiting with this.
Let's just say you with someone, maybe it's not a serious thing, and then you guys do, all sorts of fun, exciting things, including like having a threesome. Do you think she's like wife material? And then if you go ahead and get married to her, do you still expect the same things that you guys used to do when you were, floating the boat?
So, first, if you were having threesomes before marriage and you require that level of frequency as of the union or point of union, then you are a very unserious person in life. And then I heard that voice, no, I'm being serious. Let's be honest. First, the economy of the world, not Nigeria, is crumbling. So if threesome is your challenge, you have a separate problem that you need to sort out, right? Then if you're saying that, it's not the same in the bedroom, that's fine. But if you're saying, we're not sexually exploring as we used to, then maybe you need to check yourself. As far as I'm concerned, that's the only way I see it, right? There are different angles to this. For me, we define money, you define threesome. I mean, that's cool. Okay. Then what was that thing you mentioned again? Long and short, right? I think he might be the problem.
Oh, okay.
Right. As far as I've not been married, but as far as I've observed, the amount of friends who have gotten married, right, and being part of their union as friends. There are more important things than that. Than like trying to get three
and then you need to grow.
You have to grow. If you've not outgrown that, then something is wrong. And the fact that even at point of union, forget the wokeness of things. There's some
the moment
lines,
you come together as man and wife, everything changes.
Sexually, genuinely, this is my view. There's certain lines you shouldn't cross. Once you cross it, is by the grace of God you come back, because that becomes the desirable. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
So, you're frequently doing threesomes and then you're married and now you're wondering why you're not doing threesomes anymore. That type of vibe. But for me, there are better things to be concerned about than threesomes and sexual this. But if it's just basic sex that you're not getting from your wife, then you need to review your union again, right? Understand or try to re-understand where her mind is at and what does it for her.
Yeah.
Because whatever she might have told you, does it for her before union does not mean that that's the continuation. Because now she doesn't live with her parents, or now she doesn't live by herself.
She's her own person.
Now she's her own person,
And then
or
she's
she's
with you.
grown. Now she has to live with a different individual.
Yeah.
You also now have to live with someone else after being a bachelor for over a decade, where you can do 6 hours,
Decade.
8 hours, less than 48 hours with an individual. But now you're doing, you did do 2
Listen, a
months.
lifetime, bro.
You did do 2 months plus.
lifetime,
right?
yeah.
So you might not know how to adjust. She might not know how to adjust. The sexual desires might have been doused. You can do better. Just try to refigure it out.
So, Gang, what are your thoughts on this?
All right, I've been thinking of this from two standpoints. So, first off, I've said this on the show many times. If your relationship, now let's say marriage, for instance, is based on sex, it will fail, it will crumble. That's one thing you need to know about marriage. There will come to a time in your marriage that if sex is off the table on so many relationships, what holds the relationship?
Okay.
Take sex off the table. What keeps the two of you together? So you can't marry for sex. Do you understand? You have to have other things that keep you guys together. Yes, you have to have
What's
other
going
things.
on in your mind?
Because he married for threesome.
So then the other angle I wanted to point, and this is also part of the reason why people say question sex before marriage. Do you
Question
understand?
sex. What does
Yes.
that mean exactly?
So it's always, let me give you an example now. There's a standard that he tried to create for himself before he even got married, thinking that it will improve in marriage. You get where I'm coming from? So sometimes he should have, if he had started off on a situation whereby it's later on in his marriage that he started having threesomes or exploring these things, it would have been a different story. But engaging in all those kind of acts that are pretty much childish before marriage and expecting that to continue is another story entirely. Do you understand?
Yeah, I do.
That's the problem with so many young single people. You want to have all the sex in the world before you get married, and then when you get married, you think it's going to get better, it's going to increase. I'm going to
it's the same
continue having
fruit,
all
though.
the sex in the world. No, it's better to have little or no sex and get married and have all the sex you want to have with your partner.
But I'm of the school of thought.
That's quick. I disagree, by the way. But
Okay.
please, carry
But
on.
I'm of the school of thought that you don't start something with someone, something that you know it's not a long-term thing. For instance, that when you meet your partner and you feel she's the one, I feel that if you explore certain things, you've already created a problem. For instance, now you started out and then you've had, sexual experiences that are out of the average. Honestly speaking, if a man or woman goes that direction, when you now get married and then you take that off the table, one of both of the parties will feel like, oh, but this isn't what I signed up for. Because
If they
you
didn't
created
discuss
like
that, then the two of them were not supposed to get married.
Exactly.
They were not ready to get married.
Exactly.
First off, even within a dating scenario, having sex with other people who are not part of your relationship
It's
is an
already a big
aberration.
question mark.
It's
Yeah,
an
it's a
aberration.
big
Let's
question
not
mark.
try to normalize it.
Yeah.
It doesn't only become abnormal within the context of a marriage. It's even as
in a
single
relationship.
people,
Yeah.
it's an abnormal thing, right? So, as he said, to carry that expectation into
his marriage,
makes
yeah.
it mega abnormal, and as he quite rightly said, means the guy needs to check himself. But if he comes and says, oh, we had that agreement
Yes,
before
that
marriage,
this
she
is what we'll
promised
be
me
doing.
that we will continue to do it in marriage, then maybe he
Sorry,
has...
are we talking about threesomes?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
See, people have all kinds of weird arrangements. They may have had that conversation. It might not be normal, but two persons who have abnormal taste in the bedroom could have,
Do you think threesomes are abnormal?
well, within the context of a regular,
marriage,
let's say
yeah.
normal,
Yeah.
of a regular relationship, right? Bringing other people into intimacy. People who don't belong. Now, people have relationships where there are legitimately three persons in it. That's not what he's talking about.
Yeah.
This
It's
is
not a trouble.
Exactly. This is bringing sexual partners in for that purpose only.
Yeah.
That is pretty irregular
Yeah.
and to some extent abnormal.
And trouble is.
Well, I mean, if you decide if that works for
there's
all
more
parties involved,
I think for the
Yeah.
trouble situation, there's there's more of an agreement.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do
There's
you
an
understand?
understanding.
That kind of an
you know?
understanding that
Yeah.
kind of binds them together.
All parties know what they're
so they
in
know
for.
what they're getting
Yeah,
into.
exactly.
But the
So-
threesome is
so
more like a
this is-
one-night stand situation. Come and join us for
I
this.
think
and leave.
I'm sorry. You know, you guys are the experienced individuals. You see, and my longer hand going there, right? To get.
Yeah.
But starting to realize that you're not really concerned about the moral standings. You're just only concerned about what the law dictates. So if I marry 2 or more, you know, it's okay for us to do that. But if it's not bound by law, then you know, really did.
So recently,
here's the
Clean
thing,
the
no.
Drunk. Remember what Clean the Drunk said the other night when he was on the show?
It's
He
because
said-
the law exists.
He said
that
it's because
a
the
bad
law
thing.
exists.
If the law doesn't
if there
exist,
wasn't
it's
a
not bad
law
thing.
that says this is wrong, then there's no crime.
He was drunk.
You know, there's no
He
sin.
was drunk.
He
But
wasn't drunk.
but at the
he
same
was-
time,
we didn't even drink on the
Quincy
show
was
that
drunk.
night.
Quincy, here's the thing. It's expectations.
Yeah.
And something that you know when you've reached a certain age in life and you've matured, you know that certain things, even physically, there are things you can't do that you could have done 20 years ago.
And you know what?
could have done
Let's
10 years
even
ago.
take out the extremities of threesomes and
Yeah.
whatever. If you meet a woman and you start dating, and there's certain things you do, you buy her gifts all the time, you take her out to fun places and all of that. The moment you get married and you stop it, there's a problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but that's not on the same.
No, I'm just saying because there's a lot of things
bloody
that
threesomes.
most
Yeah.
men and women do. They start stuff that they know that it's
They
not
can't sustain.
genuine.
Now,
They can't
now
sustain it.
here's the thing. Like he said again, the reason why these things don't carry on is not because someone took a deliberate decision to stop them,
Thank you, sir.
right? Things show up. Life happens.
Life happens.
One of the most regular things that show up that change the dynamic of relationships are children.
Yeah.
Or is children. When people get pregnant and the scenario changes significantly, a lot of times
And then
their partners
yeah.
struggle. The man
Exactly.
typically struggles, especially if, like he said, the relationship was based on sex in the first place.
Yeah.
If the
Which
foundation
is wrong.
Yeah.
and the
Which is
pillars of their relationship
It's
was
sexual.
was
Yeah.
sexual,
Yeah.
something like pregnancy can change the dynamic very significantly. That
No,
makes
it will.
exactly, that will make the man. So it's not even the spouse denying him of threesomes only. There's a myriad of things.
Exactly.
Economic factors, for instance, if they're not making enough money and there's pressure from the landlord, there's pressure from here and there,
There's pressure from work.
libido will disappear.
Money.
He's like, bro, let's be
Too
honest.
many things.
Can I
Too
throw
many
some-
things.
Can I throw
You
a
ain't
wrench?
paying
Can
your
I throw a
bills.
wrench? Can I throw a wrench into this
yeah.
discussion? Now, this threesome we're talking about, is it man, woman, or man, woman?
we don't know.
We don't-
That's,
we
that's, so we don't
It
know.
wasn't
Well, what do you
defined
say you're
from
throwing inside?
A wrench into the whole
You threw a
conversation.
whole generator under my car. That's what you just did.
Because we're saying threesome. Sometimes I think a lot of women, correct me if I'm wrong, because I've never really been in that situation.
You mean you never had a threesome before?
Never. So here's the thing.
Oh,
so
That was
that's
so quick.
sad, bro.
That's so quick.
the truth comes out quickly.
No, not me.
Because a lot of
Well,
women consent to this.
Yeah.
Right? Do you understand? Because they know the man desires it.
It won't be a threesome if there wasn't consent.
Do you understand?
But, you know,
And they consent to him bringing another woman into the situation. It's a very different conversation if the woman wants another man to join her and her
Oh,
man.
definitely.
It's a different conversation.
it's still a threesome, just an unwilling threesome.
Unwilling by
You
who?
see?
From the man, you mean?
From the man now.
So that's
Well, you know,
another
as-
perk of the
As
gender.
weird as this is, it's happening everywhere around the world, whereby things are
What, the threesomes?
no, not just threesomes, very odd, very awkward things. Of course, we know of the popular situation between Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith.
Or the open marriage situation.
Open marriages. The people who do.
No, that's what Jada said.
Yeah, Will has been a bit quiet, but
Yeah, but that's what Jada
Well, that's
said.
what Jada said.
You
But
see?
the truth is this: the dynamics of relationships generally has changed. Many people around the world are now experimenting more. I, for one, don't think that when you're dating someone and you're doing certain things, you need to have conversations about these things. I don't think most women will willingly want to invite a second person into their marital home, especially female, because they know, the things that can happen if, they continue like that. And secondly, I think one of the biggest problems we have in today's world, because the divorce rates are crazy everywhere around the world, is that, I think people are losing their morals generally. I feel.
You think that we're more morally decadent than we were 50 years ago? I don't think so.
I think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. To be honest,
can I say something real quick, Bada?
Yeah.
There's something that has been ringing in my mind throughout this week, right? A relationship will always work if the two people are interested in making it work.
Absolutely.
If the two people are interested in making it work, it will work. If it's only one person that wants the relationship to work, it will crumble. It won't. But once the two individuals in the relationship,
counselor, bro.
once the two people in the relationship say, we want this our relationship to work, it will work.
It will work, yeah.
But that's why the problem with the divorce is that one of them has said, I don't care what you say, I don't want this anymore. And that's it.
So I think the illusion of options, particularly aggravated by social media, access to people at the touch of a button, is probably one of the reasons why people have a lower threshold for enduring the issues of life that spring up just naturally, you know, due to the age of the relationship, due to, you know, different circumstances that people don't control, you know. So that's the big shift, not necessarily morality. I think human beings are not less moral than, I mean, if you look through the history of the world, there are some phases, some material points in history that you'll be like, what?
Okay, yeah, true. No, I take that back.
You
You're
were
right,
doing this.
right. I take that back.
You know, so all the things I was even talking about, they were in the Bible. People were doing it. I mean, it's supposedly the reason why Sodom and Gomorrah had to cease to exist.
True.
So,
You spot on.